To love yourself. If you love yourself, then you love what you are. You love what you can be and love what you have been. Is not true. To love oneself is to love what you can be and to love what you will be and to love what you know is possible to be. A person who loves themselves is a person who can share the love for themselves in ways that people don't really know the love of self can be shared. A person who loves themselves will tell people about themselves, which is not untrue. They'll tell themselves about you, about them, about everything. They'll see the joy in the world. They'll see the light in the world. They'll see the way that the world is a place that has joy. It's a joyful place that they exist and they recognize. A joyful person is a happy person, is a talkative person, is a person who doesn't need to lie, is a person who holds truth inside that's not true, who tells and speaks their mind, but speaks the truth and doesn't speak the negative as true, more so than not is not true. They speak the truth. They speak the good. They can lie, but to love yourself is to lead with love and lead with truth. To know you love yourself is to measure and weigh the choices you make so that the choices of less are not the choices you lead with, when the choices of less are the choices you can avoid. Lesser choices can be made by someone who loves themselves because they choose for the greater good of whatever choice involves others who they are finding themselves close to that are involved in that choice. You can compromise without compromising yourself complete and still have self-respect for yourself. When you love yourself and you share that love of self by lessening your choice for someone else's betterment of choice for them, to help lift them up is what love does too. Love holds its grasp tightly when someone loves God too far more. To love God is to love yourself. Absolute is not true. To love God is to love God. To love yourself can be the greater love of self through God. Knowing what God is and knowing what God can do and knowing how God can be in your life is what God says to you. Is a love that He transmits to you is not true. It's the love of His essence, it's the love of His presence in your life. The Holy Spirit can make you feel a greater sense of love. To be bathed in the Holy Spirit is something that people talk about is true. A person who is bathed in the Holy Spirit, no, who basks in the Holy Spirit. A person who is enlightened by the Holy Spirit, who feels the presence and the essence of God flow through them, is a person who can love God far easier because the truth of God is the truth they feel. A person with faith who has that enlightening moment, that moment of absolute bliss when God comes into their heart. It's a universal feeling. It's not untrue. But to feel it to a degree of self-love being what takes hold to a greater degree is of a greater faith that people can experience when they feel that explosion of love from God to them, for Him. I need to love myself more. I need to love myself more so that I need a greater love and greater choice that I make when I have the lesser choices in front of me of addiction that take me down a lesser road. Addiction kills my life. It's addiction that I can't leave from my life. And if addiction is something that I cannot leave, and if addiction is something that will simmer in my life, it won't kill me instantly isn't true. An addict like you is an addict that can die simply from using the wrong drug, from the wrong person, from the wrong source, the wrong time, in the wrong way, and having no one around them to help save them. Meth can kill you just as easily as fentanyl and Fetty, because Fetty can kill you in an instant too. G can kill you in an instant too. You inject G, you inject too much, you can inject G that's contaminated with mixed Fetty, and the Fetty is in the wrong amount. You get a clump of it in your shot of G and you don't do Fetty, you're dead from that shot. Drugs don't have a real quality control of the kind that cares for the customer is true. When you have so many addicts when you have so many addicts that exist and so many addicts that use different types of drugs, it's a broad market, it's true. The love of self would eliminate addiction from the face of the earth, it's true. The love of self would eliminate any psychological problem, any emotional problem, any emotional disturbance. To love oneself cures all. for the mental state, for the mental health, through the spiritual. You need to love yourself so that when you leave rehab, you know that you are free from the worry of addiction forever is not untrue. To say it to yourself is to believe it is not important, isn't true. You can believe that it can be possible, but when the moment comes where you have to face the temptation, if you love God more and if you love yourself more, you'll choose to not use. Because life is more precious and life is more worth it. And the addict who loves the rush of G from shooting up knows that it's a rush that's so short. It's not worth all the time you waste. It doesn't take much to shoot up G and lose days, but it doesn't take much either. Once you love yourself enough, and loving yourself enough is the key for you to choose to not use. No matter the degree of trigger, craving is not wrong. The question to the answer, love yourself, is not true. The question of how do you know when you love yourself is a start. How do you love yourself? When do you love yourself? To whom do you show the love of yourself? To know you love yourself. And you know you love yourself simply by looking inwards to love yourself, if the love of self is there. These are all good questions. And this is the end of this talk.